said horse was Friday?
Yeah. What tomorrow?
The 15th,
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Get out my aisle. Get out my aisle.
Okay, welcome everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right.
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm gonna report to you. That means you gonna get off this bus.
All right, I assume that was just be mindful. If the mic comes on, it's sensitive to the sound. If it hears something on your end.
I'm sorry. I thought I had it muted.
Us to hear something you don't want us to hear. Okay, so take a gander at that. I'm trying to take a count here, people. You still hearing a buzzing noise?
Not no more.
But you hear me.
I could hear you.
Okay, well, somebody was saying they couldn't hear me and they say it in silence. Okay. Let me type this in. If you can't hear, restart.
Okay, I can hear you now.
All right. Because that's about the only way I know to fix it. I mean, it might be,
I can hear you now.
okay, good. All right. So do y'all see that on the little board there? About
Yes, sir.
test?
Yes.
All right. That's not anything to get bent out of shape about, but math is about tests. And the main thing I'm trying to do is prepare you for that midterm and final exam. And what I want you to do is what I got there. Like I said, you got to, in order to take it, you got to have your respondents working. And I want you to do this because otherwise, I know I got a lot of students. It's hard for me to chase people down if they're not doing, if they haven't done this. We go in there and we find out it's not there. If you haven't done that, then when you take the first test, what's going to happen is, you're going to be wondering why it doesn't work. So that's why you follow that directions on the Respondus quiz, download that app and get it running. And in the reviewing, we had started looking at that last time, but we're going to keep on going. As I said, I've got all right, I've got the Alex going to come up and we'll go back to that quiz. And has anybody got any particulars that they want to see? Because pretty much everything is in that review. And so if you've got particular questions, I can go to specific problems for you. So you as a student, you should be able to see that now. Is everybody able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just show you where it's at in the student view. So every time I do this, of course, it's going to go through all this. Let's see if I can just skip through it. Because I don't have a student account per se, but it lets me go in as a student. And when I do, it just starts all over. So it's kind of funny. That's why I don't do this all the time. So I'm just going to skip through all that. So congratulations, we picked that, finished that. And then it's going to do the knowledge check. And I believe it does allow me to skip through it. But you want to do that in your 120. All right. So I'm just going to tell. So if you skip it, it asks you about what you know, and it'll just guess for you. Okay. Now, so, oh, this is shucks, this is the wrong. This is the 020, isn't it? I want to be in the O. I was going to do the evaluation, but I'm going to wait on that and do it next week for you in 020. We're just going to concentrate on the test first because there's really not all that much other than that exponent deal that I showed you to put in there. So. Okay, so it does let me go in where I was at last. Okay. I was wondering why it was doing that. I guess I didn't realize I was in the O2O. So the path is for daily stuff to keep up with the pace of the class. And if you, like I said, all these pop-ups are crazy. But this is telling you everything. So working in the path, it just tells you where you more or less should be at. So, but the way to get ready for the test is assignments. And you see that here. So this is that respondus check. I want you to try because you got to make sure you can run that lockdown browser software, because then that records you sight and sound. And now my thing is doing this again. My camera. It was working fine before. All right. So now, and then this is the review right here. So let's look at that. Whoops. All right, hold on a second. Something weird's going on.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
mine
What's
only
up?
shows that test that was due for 6 o'clock, and then it shows 0 integers and do not take a test. That's the only thing I see.
Okay,
How did
but
you
you're
get
in
there?
you're not in the 120. You're in the 020.
Yeah, 020.
You're in the 120.
Oh, okay.
We haven't really
Let me
had
see.
anything in there yet, and since the test is coming up on us, I don't want to mess around over there too much. But after we get there, we're going to be doing it. All right. What in the world happened?
What time do the test end?
Well, it's going to be on our next class period. It'll be at our next class period.
Okay, so I said it says 020.
Well, you're in the 120. The test is in the math 120 class. Hold on there.
So the review is in the Math 120 class?
Yes, for the test, because that's the test we want to concentrate on. Remember, the 020 is a class to prepare us and give us more time in.
Yes, but the O2O has a quiz that's due from 5:30 to 6:30.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that today. So
Okay.
be in the one. That's what I want to put you in the 120. I wanted to spend time on just the material in the 020. In the 120, because there's not that much stuff in here. And what in the world? Like all of a sudden now my video went out. Hold on.
We can't see you no more. Well, I can't.
I know. That's what I'm saying is all of a sudden my thingamajig went out. Because I use 2 computers here, and I got another laptop. I might just hook that up real quick. All right, hold on. So just 1 second. I don't know what in the world happened. It was working fine, and it just boom. So just concentrate on the 120 for tonight. I'm gonna take that out in a second. So don't worry about that. You could take it if you want to, but it's not gonna hurt you. But I'll reassign it next time. And just give me a minute to get all this set up here. I don't know what in the world happened. It's like the computer just shut down. But I got my little laptop. I was going to use that anyway. Okay, maybe it's doing now. I think it's back on. Yeah, it looks like it's coming back up. If it is, if this doesn't work, I'll go back to the laptop. But anybody, has anybody got any questions about specifics? Because otherwise, in the 120, don't worry about the.
I just have one question concerning just attendance. How do we get more present?
I mark you present. But the attendance really does not have any grade value. It's the stuff that we do in class. All right.
Right. Okay.
I have a question about the shading circle. I can't think of the name of it. I get notes on that part.
The shading.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to show you that. That's a good question. Like I said, I'm just waiting for this thing to come back up. All right, let me just go to plan B here. All right.
So I sit up here by myself. Oh, you clear?
It's your phone. We can't hear you. No.
No, not at all.
All right, how about now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can hear you now.
All right, now I gotta.
Yes.
It's echoing though.
All right. So is it all right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's say we're working on this problem here, and we want to look at shading. Well, the way I need to know how to shade is I need to find out which of these regions. There's the outside, there's the B, there's that intersection right there, and then there's this C only over here. Okay? So which of those do we need to shade? Well, let me show you how I handle this. All right. I need to kind of make a quick one because this thing does not. So I'm going to draw one real quick. It's not going to be too fancy. Put a circle in there and a circle in. And this will show you how I handle the shading. So what that's supposed to be, it's supposed to be that same thing right there, okay? It just looks really messed up. There's the B and there's the C. And it's supposed to keep going right there. Now, there's 3 regions in here. This one is called Roman numeral 1. This one in here, and I'm just going to write it in there. So that's Roman numeral 2. This is Roman numeral 1. This is Roman numeral 3. And this is just a label. Alex doesn't show you this, but I think this works really well to do it like this. And outside here is the Roman numeral 4. Now, back to this. What we want to shade is this part right here, the B complement intersection of C complement. So what we need to find out is what makes up B complement. Which of these regions makes up B complement? Well, first of all, okay, B is this whole area right there. All right, so tell me which regions make up the areas that are not in B. 1 and 2 are inside of B, so which ones are not in B?
C.
3 and what?
4.
And 4, good.
Yeah, 3 and 4. Sorry, 3 and 4.
This should just label, and this, Alex doesn't use these Roman numerals, but I think they work the best. If you can come up with some other way to shade them using this shading tool, that'll be fine, but this is the way I like to do it. Now, the other one was C complement. So now, let me shade C complement. We'll shade in C and then we can find out what's not in C. All right, so which of these are not in C? The Roman numeral.
4.
Well, 4, and then what about this one? So 1 and 4 makes up the C complement. Now, what we want to find, remember, was the intersection between these two. Okay,
2.
so this is the way I like to handle it. You might be able to tell, but the thing is, you can't shade in different colors. So I don't know how you could do that with the shading thing. So that's why I do it like this. So tell me then, the intersection between these two is what?
2.
Look at here on this part.
Oh,
What you thinking? And I guess I should have done a little bit different on the shading there, but I just wanted to show you what was not in B and what's not in C. Don't look at the shading yet. What I want you to do is look at these. What do these have in common? Over here, my mouse is at.
4.
The 4 region then is the area we're going to shade. So we click this, and then we click the outside, and it shades 4. When I shaded the blue and the red, I'm shading B and C so we can see what's not B and what's not C. And that's why I wrote these down. So B complement, when we cover up the 1 and the 2, 3 and 4 is left. When we shade in the 2 and 3, the 1 and the 4 is left. And then the intersection, which is the common values between these two. All right. So the 4 region, the region 4 is the one on the outside. So that's how you shade these. Okay. Questions about that? Questions about that? What's that?
So that's the answer right there, right?
And I'm hearing some people, but I'm not hearing anything clear. What's going on?
I
I think you're hearing your. I think you're hearing yourself.
Hearing myself.
You got a lot of reverb.
I'm not hearing any myself. I just heard 2 people talking, and I couldn't hear what they were saying. All right, so questions about this? Because this is important, and that's the way I handle it. You might be able to fiddle around with the shading, but you remember, you got to shade the areas that are represented by this. All right, and so I did a little bit of shading here so I could eliminate the areas that weren't B and eliminate it's not C. And you're right that if we looked at this, those 2 would be shading, but I was not shading on that. That's why I was using the Roman numerals.
And that would be the answer, just like how you
That's it.
have it. That's it?
See that blue area?
Yeah.
The one that's shaded, that's the area. Because see, 4 and
Okay.
4. Now I'm hearing myself. Well, I heard myself once.
you must got on 2 computers.
Well, you're right. I am always on 2 computers, but I think my mic came back on.
I have a question if everyone got that. If they,
Okay, shoot with your question.
I'm getting caught up on the universal set involved in the interset. The subsets, I'm getting,
Can you tell me what the problem is or describe it? Is it in the review?
Yeah, I need a review. How do I get in the review? Say I got 2 more days left to review, but when I click on it,
There's not 2 more days. It's open now, and it will be open until test day. Are you and Matt?
when I click on it, it does not open. Like, I don't know, like, I want to do a review before the test, right? And I'm trying to, it don't allow me to open it up.
Hold on.
Like, I'm trying to go back and okay. Should have wrote it down. I don't have all. I didn't write the question.
That's what I showed you before at the beginning. Did you see that at the beginning? Are you in the right class?
No.
Hold on. All right. Okay, to get to that test, the review, I mean, look. Got to be in the 120.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to show you as a student. You see it right there?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you click on it? You can also get to it over here under assignments. It's right there.
So I won't be taking the test. I'll be just doing
Okay.
a review of it. Okay. Okay.
So let's go back to it.
So I click on.
And what was the question about the universal set?
Yeah.
You're hearing me. I see my mic going, but
I hear you.
hearing you, hearing me. Hello.
I hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Elise, see them here? If they're available, they're on here. I sent out an announcement about this. See, the one we're working on basically is I got to put one more
When I
up
click on it from there, it don't open up though. That's what I was
for
saying.
that one. They're not quite one-to-one because I do cover overlap a bit, but that's it. So y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes,
I hear
it's
you.
better.
Thank you, Elisa. I'm wondering if I think, can you hear me? But nobody's saying anything.
Okay, what I'm saying.
Yes, we
All
could
right,
hear
let's go
you.
back to oops,
All right, baby.
that
I gotta
quiz.
study. Come on.
That review. So what was the question about the universal set
I
that
didn't
I heard
understand
earlier?
it. I didn't
Oh,
understand.
I posted a picture of that too. I just had I just forgot how you worked it out. What was it? Yeah, the other day. I put it on the chat message of the question I had.
That review of the test, when you click on it, say start test. It's not are we taking a test or is that the review of the test? That shit confusing.
Hello?
So can you folks hear me?
I think both your mics are on.
This has been a week.
Well, I got what in the world? This is the strangest thing.
Did the storm do something to your computer the other day?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I've seen it pop up on the screen sharing a couple times that internet communication.
That's the main thing. Let me see if I can fix this.
Maybe if you turn off the mic of one computer.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. All right, hold on. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, you sound good now.
Yes, I could hear you.
Please let me know if you can hear me, because it should be working audio-wise. Now, because I see my mic moving up. But if y'all aren't here, you got me worried.
Yeah, you're good now.
D just says yes, so.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
All right, let me get back on the Zoom and start sharing. So anyway, that's where that thing is at. It's right there, and as soon as you go in.
Sir, but when you not go there,
Right in
where you
here.
just showed me, excuse me, when I go there and try to
It's
click
several
on that,
places.
it doesn't
You
open
can't miss
up.
it. See that?
Oh my gosh. What you just showed me, I'm telling you, I'm having problem
Let
with
me
my
share the
computer.
screen again. Once
It
the
does
thing
not
starts up.
go, it does not open.
And
I
as
know
far
how to
as
get through it.
that site that we're
I don't think we
using for
hear you. I don't think
the
we hear
math
you.
curriculum, do we have to use our email that we used for Canvas to get set up on that?
Yeah, you gotta, if you log in through your Canvas, it'll walk you through it, and you gotta, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I'm just going to go through them. Tell me what y'all are interested in seeing. This one right here, well-defined set. I think we looked at that a couple of times. So if you still got
Mr.
questions
Cruz,
about it, let me
somebody had
know.
a question about the test. Can you hear us? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he could hear us again.
How about this one?
Can you hear us?
Professor Cruz, can you hear me?
Okay, so what we got here. Oh, I bet you I know what the problem is.
Yeah,
No,
he
we
can't hear
can't.
us.
This has been a week.
Oh no,
man.
Mr. Cruz, can you hear us? God, I'm losing my
Listen for
moderation.
the first one there, the forum, the set of animal types at the shelter
You
treated by
definitely
Dr.
can't hear us.
So what we got here is
This
just
is crazy.
9
We
types of
didn't ask no
animals
more
at the animal
questions,
shelter.
and he just
2
going on.
veterinarians treated animals yesterday.
Do you have to form some sections?
I like it.
All right, type questions here.
God,
Said I
please throw the
feel
whole
like it.
computer, throw the whole Wi-Fi. Just start over again.
As my friends would say, that's that Walmart Wi-Fi.
Just type the questions in the chat.
What
All right.
is going on?
It stressed this man out. We could tell it stressed him out.
I hate to redo everything, but we'll just stay in here and then I'll reboot everything at the end of the session. Get it
I
checked
can't,
out.
you guys.
As long as
This
you
is
can
too
hear me,
much.
just type your questions in the chat. So what would we put here? We got oh, I see the question up there about the we're gonna get to that in just a minute. I'll do that one next.
Man, what I got myself into?
Well, if you start it, anytime you take a test or quiz, you should always finish it. But if something happens like what I just did, see, you'll come back up once you reboot your computer or get back in. You'll see something that says in progress, so you click on it and you can start. But it's taking your time. Yeah, I know you said that, but I don't know what happened to you guys' audio. I mean, I was hearing it. The only thing I can do is just start. I mean, just keep going, and then I'm going to restart the computer towards the end. So just type in the chat questions. So yeah, just in general, you want to make sure when you start a time test that you are prepared to finish it. If your computer has to restart for some reason, you come back in and you can click on it and start again. All right. So I know what the question is that you're talking about that. I saw
Turn
it
my
up
mic
there
off.
in the chat. It's over here. I think it's about 8 or 9. But as long as y'all can hear me, you can hear me, right?
Yes, let's do that one. Let's do that one.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Let's do this one. And go slow. Thank you.
Make sure you type it in so he can be sure to do that one.
Okay. Oh, he got me. I
I
can't
don't know if
type.
it's going on because of the weather,
Can you type it,
because we're
please?
all having problems, it seems like. Having problems all around. So number 9.
Oh no. What the
So I'm
heck?
answering questions that I see in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I'm doing one that somebody asked about earlier. Where's it at? This, I'm going to come back to it. Okay, let me do this first, and then I'll go to 8. this is the one that's up. If you go up in the chat, somebody had asked about it. All right.
All right.
So I will get to 8. Just please hold on. Now, this is asking for 2 things. This one is asking about the complement. Well, it gives you the complement and it asks you for the set. You're given a universal set. And then they give you, for this one, they give you a set and ask for its complement. Now, here's the thing is, this is the same procedure for both. What you do on both of these, and we'll do B first, is we're going to go up here to the universe because we're comparing this against the universe. And we're going to take out the 4, the 5, and the 6. And what is left over is what's going to go in here and will be B complement. So 1, 2, 3, and 7 is B complement. And now you'll notice that these two have nothing in common. And that's what it should be. There should be no intersection between a set and its complement. And then when you put them back together with the union, you get all of them. All right. Now this one's the same basic thing.
So now, for this one, we're going to do the same thing. We've got a complement. So to find the original set, we go up here and we go 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7. Take those out of the universe. And what's left over is our A. So 3, 4. All right. Questions about that?
No.
No.
Okay, so let me
So
go
you
on
do B.
to 8. Somebody had a question about what's that?
So doesn't do it matter what order you do it if I would have did A first?
No, I just did B first because of the fact that that one is looking for the complement and A is giving you the complement and looking for the original set. That's the only reason why I did it. Because this right here is the formal definition. If you have the set, you find its complement. And that's what we did. And then to find A, it's the exact same thing. It's just the same process. You're starting with a complement and then finding the set.
I know which one to complement, sir.
What's
What
that?
number is this?
What number what?
What number is this where you're showing from this review?
Well, I mean, this is problem 7,
Oh.
I think.
Oh, okay.
So the complement and its set are just the opposites. So in other words, they share no common elements. That's what the complement means. It means that if you take this one and that one, you get this one. If you take this one and this one, you get that one back. Let's look at number 8 since I got a
So my question is, you can
what's
hear
that?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. You say we got to find a complement. Can you go back to that, please? I'm
Yeah, I
still-
will.
Thank you. You were saying you find a complement first. So how I know to find a complement?
Oh, okay,
because-
whoa, okay, hold on. Listen to this. Okay, this one is asking for the complement. So that's why I did that one first. They could be in reversed order. Okay, sometimes they'll switch these up to see if you're paying attention. But no matter which one it is, it's the exact same process.
I understand that, sir. If to help me understand, can you listen to my question? So
Okay,
for
shoot.
me to know that it want me to find a complement because it got that apostrophe behind the B, so I find that
Mhm.
first.
No, you don't have to find it first. You can do this one first. See, they're giving you a complement, and then you're going to find A the exact same way we did this one. That's what I was trying to show you. That's why I went in that reverse order.
Okay.
So I think it's basically you input in whichever number is missing. That's
Right.
how I
Well,
thought
that's
about
what the complement is. You're
Yeah.
going up to that universe and you're finding the ones that are missing.
Okay.
And
We're
the
going to do the
dash-
same. We're going to do more compliments here, so don't get worried if you don't quite understand it. We're going to do more here because this one contains compliments. So Elisa was asking about Kent. So what was the one that you said I passed up? Hold on to that for next time. If this isn't it.
Wait, are we going to the one or wait?
Well, I'm doing this one now because I couldn't. You didn't say which one, so we'll come back to it. Whichever one you wanted. All right, we're going to do this one now, since I got the request for A. Now, for this one right here, we need to have B, which we've got, and we need C complement, which we don't have. So we got to find C complement. So let's find C complement the same way we just did. So what's not in C? All right. Well,
Q.
so C is F, X, M, and R. And the way I like to do it is just, if you can do this, write them out.
And C.
Q, Z,
And so what's,
and X.
and Q, X, and Z are what's left. That's the
Right.
comp.
Okay.
So there's our complement. Now we can do this one. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to just erase this so I don't have all those dots on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take C complement and B, and we're going to take the intersection. So we're looking at this one, and we're looking at this one. And the intersection means what?
What they got in common?
What they got in common. And the only thing I see in common is X, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's our answer. So there we go for that first one. We did those set operations by taking a complement. And then we took that complement and we intersected with B. And that was just X. All right, so on this one, we're going to just go inside first because we can't take the complement of that whole thing in parentheses until we know what this is. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to write that over there and y'all help me. What does B union C mean? What does that mean? Think it out before we start doing it. The intersection, which is the one like the
What B and C have in common? No?
this is the one that's in common.
Okay.
So the other one is basically just tack them all together.
Oh, okay.
Throw them in one pot.
Okay, union means all
That's
together.
union. Everybody
Okay.
together. So now let's just put them in here. So we've got B union C is F. Okay, I'm just putting them in order. They don't have to be in order, but I'm putting them in order just so I don't lose track. Easier to keep track. And I think that's all of them. F, K, M, R, and X, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the union. Now, that's not the final answer because we need to have what? We need to have B union C complement. Okay? So now we're going to do what we did for the other complements. We're going to take this one and we're going to go up to our universal set, and we're going to take the ones that we got in the B union C out. And what's left over?
R and X. No, oh wow, Q.
So what's left over is Q
Q and
and
Z.
Z.
Let's see.
And that's what goes in here. Q, Z. All right. Questions about that?
No, just had to do some more.
All right. So the people that were before I did this one, let's see, because somebody said I passed it up and do this problem. So which one was it?
I was telling you, I was helping on another classmate. I don't know which problem she needed help with.
Okay. Well, you want me to just go back through them? So this is where you find cardinalities. And then they ask you a few questions there. Y'all okay on this one? What does cardinality mean? What does cardinality mean? This is
The element.
number of the element.
it's the number of elements. N just means the number of elements in this set. So it's just saying the number of elements in A, because it's got to tell you which one so you know which one to get. So how many is in this A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5. All right. Now, how do I know how many elements are in this one? Even numbers greater than or equal to 4 or
Write
less
it down
than or
and count
equal to.
them.
Yeah, well, what I think the safe way to do is write them out. We're going to put B here. If you got them in roster form, you know which ones they are. So they're even, and it starts with what? Greater than or equal to 4. It's all even, so we're going to keep on going. 8 and 10. The set of even numbers greater than or equal to 4, including 4. So even, so 6, 8, and 10. So how many we got there?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's all it's asking is just how many. All right. Now they give us some true and false questions to just see what we if we understand these symbols. What does that little pitchfork thing mean? What does that mean?
Equivalent.
No, that's not the
Got
equivalent. The equivalent just means they got the same number of elements. So that means the counts are even. That just means is an element. And if it's got the slash through it, it means it's not an element. And what an element means, it just means it's one of the items inside of the set. So on this one here, they're giving us the statement, negative 27
True.
is an element of A. And yes, it's true. It's right there. You can see it right there. Is 8 an element of B?
True.
That one's true. And then they got negative 30 is not an element of A.
False.
Yeah, that's a lie because if it didn't have the slash through it, it would be true. So that's false. And then is 0 an element of B? No, 0 is not in there.
No.
False.
False.
So false. Okay. All right. So how y'all feel about that one?
Good.
All right. Well, I'm just going to keep going through them and let's see what else you bite on here. I think that was 4. Was that 4 or 5? So this is another set operations and it's got the complements and all that in it. This is a good one to do. If anybody's got a particular one, let me know because I just didn't see which ones you were talking about. All right.
So when you get something like this, it's still the same order of operation. Do parentheses first.
Well, yeah, because you go inside the parentheses and you do that because unless you know what this whole thing is, you don't have any way of intersecting it with C. So yeah, you want to find out what this is. And then to do that, we got to find a complement first. So yeah, you always work in the parentheses, most complicated thing first. And the most complicated thing first is the A prime, A complement. So what's not in A? And again, this is my favorite way to do it, but you got to write them down. So this is F, G, P, and Q are gone because those are in A. So A complement is the ones that we're not using, which is H, R, X, Y, Z. All right. So that's A complement. We need to have that in order to take it and find the rest of this stuff. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to union it with B. So we're going to go here and we're going to put these two together. And I'm going to write that one here. All right. So we're putting together. I'm going to just draw a line here. These two together, the union. What does the union mean? The union means no, and we cannot mix these up.
All of them together.
This is the in common one. This is everything in one hopper. All right. We don't want to make sure. The reason why I'm asking you is just so we can get it right before we start doing it.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to take this one and B, and we're going to put them all in one. We're not going to repeat anything because repeating elements don't count but once. So we got G, H. I'm putting them in order just for sanity's sake. And I think that's all of them. We'll double check here now. So G, H, oops, I don't have, sorry, G, H, Q, R, and then X, Y, and Z. So that looks right. What do we need to do now? One more step. We got to have C prime because we got to have C prime in order to match up with this and do the final step, which is easy because that one right there is just the common elements. So we got to have C prime. C complement is the ones that are not in C. All right. So C has P, Q, X, Y, Z.
I see. So F.
So we're taking out the P, the Q, X, Y, and Z, and what's left over is our C complement. I put two things there. That's nothing special. That should be one dash, one apostrophe. So
F.
G, H, R, right?
R. Yeah.
That's all the ones that's not in C. Now the last step is take these two and put them together with the intersection, which means common elements. So what's common? We got G, H, and R. And that's the only ones there are. G, H, R. The common elements.
Mr. Cruz,
Mm-hmm.
for A union B, those
Mhm.
are supposed to be together, correct?
Okay,
I
this
don't
is
see
not,
R in
it's-
it, is what I'm saying.
it's A complement union B.
Okay,
So A complement was this one right here.
right?
Are you questioning that? Is that what you got to
No.
question?
The second one.
Okay, then it's A complement and B. So we're putting all these together. We got G, H, Q,
Okay,
R, X, Y, and Z.
okay,
All it is just doing is just putting those two together. And that's what those are right there. And then once I get the C complement, and that's just one apostrophe, that's not two, that's nothing special. Then we find the intersection between these two, between that one and this one. So that's G, H, and R. They share no other ones. F isn't up here, and X, Y, and Z are not down there. Okay?
okay.
All right. Any more questions about this one? Let's see what else we got. We might have a chance to do a quick one if I think this one's another one of those operations. We can come back to that if you want to. Let's see what's up here. Because this is another one that that sneaks up on people, this one here. And this one's fairly easy. All right. The number of subsets of a set A with n elements is given as 2 to the nth power. So that's the formula right there, 2 to the nth power. All right, now there's two different type of these. There's one that's asking for all of them, and then there's ones that where we're using this other formula, which is just one letter difference. Proper subsets is 2, and that's 2 to the n. I'm going to fix it. So whatever this is, to find the number of possible proper subsets, we subtract 1 because we're throwing one out. And so that's what this is here. They're telling us she can't take all of them. So what they've got is they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 classes. And it says she can take some or none of the 8 classes, but she can't take all of them. So then what we're using is this one because they're giving us that one exclusion. So we subtract out 1. So what it is 2 to the what power?
7 power.
8 is 8.
8, yeah, minus
Right.
1.
All right. And so the calculator thing is over here. Make sure you can use this thing. This is your friend here.
Oh, wow.
What's the matter? See, there's that little calculator. Works really well for this. So this little thing here, I'm going to put in the 2. And then you click that middle thing, x to the y power. And then we put in the 8.
You put the negative.
And then we're going to subtract 1.
Go back.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead. You just did it fast.
Which one do you want to get? You want me to go back and
Not hit equal. Not hit. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
How do you get to that cat? Oh, never mind. I see it.
Yeah, it's x to the y power. And then you can even put in your subtraction 1 there. Now, if it doesn't mention any exclusions like that, if it doesn't mention the one exclusion, then you just do 2 to the 8th power. All right. Let's just take a little break. If you got any questions, I'll stay here a couple, because I know we got messed up on that time, but everything looks to be working now.
Yeah.
2.2 is due tonight, right?
You have to check those dates. Remember, let me go back and show you here. On the course calendar, this is what I go by. Those dates, Alex makes those dates in order for us to have enough time to cover everything before the test. So this is what I go by. All right. Those dates, like I said, I can just, all I know to do is just go over there and look because I can't remember what they are. But this is what I go by. But that sounds about right. So here, oops, I'm to the wrong darn one. That's the O2. All right, where is it at? But this course calendar is this, this pace at which we go along. So see, like 2.2, that was last week. So as I said, it is within 2 days, try to be working on it, because if you leave those, if too long, it's going to be a lot to do. All right. So that sounds about right, because that was from last week. And so this is what we're working on now. This is the day we're working on. So that's why we're looking at that review. And if you
okay, so 2.2 was due the same day as 2.1.
Well, as far as I see it is, the dates may not have been the same in Alex, but they would be later than these. These are the safe dates. In other words, if you're within 2 days of these dates, you should be all right.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll see you in a little bit, okay? I'm back in the other class. Anybody got anything they want to ask?
I do.
What's up?
Give me a moment. I think I was trying to remember the question. Oh yeah. In this class here, it's saying that my evaluation is not.
All right, I'm gonna take that out for right now. We're concentrating on the test for next class. All right.
I know, but I'm trying to keep up.
So just don't worry about O2 until
classes. So
I'm probably just go ahead and reassign that next week, because I wanted to give all of the focus towards this first test. Okay. There's not really a whole lot in that first evaluation that applies here. The only thing that's in there that really applies is the power thing, the 2 to the 8th power thing, that kind of thing. So make sure you know how to do that. And like I said, I'm going to have that ready for next week because we don't have to have those, today.
Okay.
Matter
Let's
of
see you
fact.
next
All right.
day.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.